From Timi, Lagos, Nigeria. A very lovely, great morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. If you've been with us since 5 a.m., thank you for staying tuned. If you're just joining us, thank you as well. This morning, we are looking at HIV/AIDS. Today is World AIDS Day. So the rate of HIV is said to have been stable in recent years. But yet Nigeria still has the second largest HIV epidemic in the world. Second largest in the world. And one of the highest rates of new infections in sub-Saharan Africa. So I'm asking, like, why is HIV/AIDS on the rise in Nigeria, really? It's a question that we need to interrogate. We need to find answers to. And why is it that women are being the most impacted? Now, data released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, indicates the number of women living with HIV AIDS in Nigeria it has been on the rise in the last 3 years. About 41% of persons from Lagos, Kaduna, Akwa Ibom, Benue, Oyo, and Kano State in Nigeria are now living with the virus. How educated are you, Lagos? How educated are you on HIV prevention programs available? What do you know exactly about how you can prevent yourself from contracting the virus? Why are there growing inequalities when you talk about access to essentials in terms of HIV treatment in Nigeria, HIV services in Nigeria? Because we've heard of that as well. Now, we are not going to even throw away COVID impact in all of these conversations because COVID has impacted everything. But I need you to note a few things. The recent statistical report on women and men in Nigeria by the Bureau of Statistics showed that the percentage of women living with the disease increased from 55.50% in 2017 to 56.03% in 2019. However, that of men dropped. It did not increase. Men living with HIV dropped from 44.50% to 43.97% within the same period, 2017 to 2019. Now, according to NACA is the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, Nigeria is a country with the second largest number of persons living with HIV. About 1.9 million people in Nigeria living with AIDS. Now, these are just the ones that have been captured. Please underline that word captured. Because in 2020, 37.7 million people are living with HIV. And of these people, 36.0 million, let's just say 6.36 million are adults. 1.7 million are children between ages of 0 and 14. There's a recent one by WHO right now that says that Nigerian children are now being infected with HIV on an alarming rate. In fact, Nigerian adolescents between the age of 10 and 19 are more affected. In fact, Nigerian adolescent girls, not boys, girls, they are the biggest casualty. Steve Aborishade of AIDS Healthcare Foundation joined us this morning. He joins us all the way from Abuja. Steve, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Good morning.
It's good to have you here.
To be here.
It's good to be here. Steve, let's start with the current situation of AIDS, HIV in Nigeria. What can you tell us about it before we now go into the other areas? What's the current level right now?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I must say that there have been tremendous progress made in Nigeria, and that we have to acknowledge that. And that is good news for us. As of today, we have about 1.6 million persons on HIV treatment, and that is from about 1.3 million prior to COVID-19. So, in fact, globally, Nigeria is perhaps the only country where more people are placed on HIV treatment during the COVID period.
Oh.
So this is a very good indication of the beautiful effort of government.
Does that mean that we now have more, drugs available to people? Because, Steve, everybody knows that before now, these drugs are very rare. People struggle to have access. Even those that have access to them, they kind of like hoard them.
No, that is not the picture.
Okay.
Before now, before now we had issues with logistics. These are just logistical issues.
Okay.
Yes, these are just logistical issues. Don't forget the terrain of our country. It's several outreach areas, and we did not have good logistics program in place. But this has been sorted out years ago.
Okay.
I can tell you now we have enough drugs to go around everyone who is on treatment. Do you understand?
Are these drugs free?
These drugs are free. Although it's not all the treatments may not be free.
Okay.
Because you have to do laboratory tests, hospitals have to take care of basic administrative needs, depending. For instance, at AHF, treatment is free. But in other periods, they may not be totally free. But the drug, that's the antiretroviral drug, is totally free across every treatment center in Nigeria. And that is kudos to the government of Nigeria, kudos to PEPFAR, kudos to all the implementing partners. They've been doing great. Kudos to the Global Fund. Kudos to the U.S. government who is funding PEPFAR. So we have a good situation on hand, but there are still challenges. But we can tackle the challenge.
We'll come to the challenges in a moment, Steve. I'm glad that we started on that note because I needed to hear some bit of good news. And thank you for making that very clear that we're on the right path when it comes to HIV treatment in Nigeria. But earlier this morning, I was talking about it at about 5 a.m. and a caller called me and said she went to want to go and get screened. And then the healthcare practitioner that she saw was asking all sorts of questions. And after a while, and the practitioner told her that, look, you don't have AIDS. Come and be going. And that was just it. I'm giving this premise so that I can ask my next question, which is, of course, tell us more about AIDS and the signs and symptoms that people can watch out for and what to do next.
Programmatically, I would insist on mentioning any symptoms. And that is because the symptoms that HIV/AIDS give are the symptoms that many other diseases will give.
That's right.
So what we do and what we advise is that when you are in doubt, when you have concern, the best thing to do, the right decision to take, is to go for an HIV test. That is the only way to be sure if you are positive or not.
You know why I asked that question, Steve, is because someone had these doubts, went to see a medical practitioner, and the person simply just asked questions. No test done. Nothing happened.
We can now begin to interrogate the knowledge base of the so-called medical practitioner. And there are so many of them, quacks. So we cannot rely on, we don't even know the situation. I can tell you as a matter
I was told that it was a general hospital.
No, but sincerely, I'm telling you, there is no medical practitioner that is what is so that we don't interrogate a client, a patient, and say no.
I was shocked. I was shocked too. I was shocked.
No. That is totally wrong. That is totally wrong.
I was shocked,
and it should be discouraged.
Indeed.
The only way to know is through a test. And testing is free everywhere. Even now, there are new advances, and we have self-testing kits that government is making available,
right,
that individuals can get and test in the comfort of their room, just to expand access to treatment start with testing.
Indeed, Steve. Let me pause here for now. I'll come back to you in a moment, but I need to hear from our listener out there who may have one or two questions for you very quickly. We'll just take a few calls before the break because the break is quite close. We'll take a few calls and come back to you and look at some challenges that you mentioned earlier that we're still being faced with. Lagos, Nigeria, World AIDS Day. Let's talk HIV/AIDS. 0700 993 993 993 and 01465 719. I know that stigmatization is a big part of this conversation. I know that there are also treatments that you can take to prevent you from contracting. There are some that you can take afterwards. I know all of that. We'll touch on all of those in a moment. But hey, let's get to hear from you first. If you like to drop comments on Facebook, feel free to do that. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube, we're streaming live on YouTube as well. YouTube is Nigeria Info 99.3. If WhatsApp is your thing, then send us a WhatsApp message. The WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. That is 0809 597 5805. Let me take this comment from Facebook. Taibat Ali Singh says, women HIV case will rise because they are the ones carrying pregnancy and will definitely do HIV tests when she goes for her first antenatal. The test is mandatory, so they rise in case. She's trying to talk to me about why we have a higher number of women in the statistics than men. I think that made a very valid point, though. Bernardo is also on Facebook. Bernardo says, HIV/AIDS has always been with us, but we deliberately abandoned the discussion because government officials discovered they can steal more with coronavirus because it is a class disease and the rich would do anything to protect themselves. Bernardo Adode on Facebook put that across. Now, let me take this call, then I'll come to you. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning to you. I can't hear you. You're sounding very faint. Oh, no, I'm really sorry. I am so sorry I can't hear you. I've increased my fader to the highest level right here in the studio. Please do call me back if you can. I'd appreciate that a lot. Steve, let's talk about these challenges that we're still faced with before we go to other areas of our conversation. What are these challenges you mentioned earlier in terms of access to treatment?
Okay, you actually mentioned one of it,
Okay.
which is really key, and that is stigma and discrimination.
Oh,
And stigma is really rampant, and it has a lot of big impact on the success, of the intervention that we have in place. First of all, stigma affects the health-seeking behavior. There was a comment about high prevalence in women than men.
yeah.
And I would say this is basically because men, the health-seeking behavior of men is poorer
It's very poor.
than that of women.
Don't mind us.
Women basically are compelled to seek antenatal services. They come to the hospital, they get tested. Men don't. Most men, it's until when it's very late that they agree to go
They
to the
present themselves.
So because women, when you are pregnant, you must run an HIV test, we are getting more positive than women. If we have the same opportunity to test the
Men.
male population,
Right.
we have to test. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that's just that.
Yes.
So I was talking about stigma, and I have impact intervention. Because of stigma, a lot of people are even afraid to test. If I test, what will happen to me? Will I be infected? What's my fate? This singularly has affected several millions of Nigerians from testing. A lot of people have not tested ever. Despite all the awareness, despite all the education, it's fear. What will happen to me next? Of course, you can begin to look at what has happened to other people whose HIV status were known. Some were tried. Some were successful in interview, job interview, on discovering their HIV status. They won't take them. Even if you take a walk to the hospital setting, you see the level of stigma, even in the home, in churches, everywhere. And this stigma has no basis because it's simply a lack of knowledge. At this level, at this time now, HIV treatment is so successful. And I'm saying this as a matter of fact. To the extent that if you are on treatment and you stick to treatment, you will not transmit the infection. That is the fact.
That means your viral load will just be so low that you can't transmit
that
it.
is inactive. You cannot transmit. Do you get?
I'm with you.
We are having women who are HIV positive, having children who are negative. A lot. But one of the key challenges that we face is that we are still having children born HIV positive because women, a lot of our women don't seek help. They don't go through antenatal services where they can be tested. Because you are tested and you are positive, it is so possible that you will not give back to a
positive baby.
So this is one of the key challenges Nigeria is facing. We are still giving birth to children who are positive. From the
I wanted to ask that from the data that the WHO just released about how our young girls are even being positive, they are coming up positive more than our young boys. I wanted to know if you have an idea as to what could be responsible for this. But let me see if Ken is still here. Ken, are you still with us? Hello, Ken. Oh, Ken is gone. Let's take this call. Let's take this one here. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
We can hear you. Morning.
Hello?
Oh, you can't hear me. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about that. I think he couldn't hear me. So, Steve, in a minute or two, can you shed light on that? Because when I saw that report, I was like, okay, so what could be responsible for this now? That between our girls between 10 and 19 are even coming up positive, HIV positive, than the boys. What could be responsible?
Like I said earlier, it's the health-seeking behavior between male and female. There's a disparity, and then when we look at the biological makeup of the male and the female, they are different.
Yeah.
The women are easily, susceptible to infection because of the shape of their sex organs. But we must not forget that we are experiencing increasing violence against our young girls and women. A lot of them are being raped. A lot of them are facing serious violence. This predisposes them to infection.
Right.
A lot of girls to move by have to engage in intergenerational sex. You see young girls dating older men. And it's becoming like a trend. So these are some of the factors that are responsible. But it's not to say that young boys who are not testing positive. Adolescents generally is a period of time of exploration by young people. They are careless. They don't play safe. And they do a lot of sex, a lot of unprotected sex. So these are the basic factors responsible, for the spike in this age group.
Steve, stay with me. Let's go to break. We have a break coming now. When we return from this break, we'll talk some more about, treatments that people can take to prevent them from being at risk of contracting HIV and AIDS. Stay with us, Lagos. We'll be back.
AbsTV.com to enjoy the best Nollywood movies and series wherever you are.
Babe, you have to be careful. Are you sure you want to take the job? It's a long distance. And remember, you don't drive. What if you get hurt while boarding buses? Or if the chemicals spill on you on site? What if while washing utensils, it slips and cuts you? And the environment is waterlogged? What if you miss a step and break your leg? Babe, I think you...
Chill. No yawa. I'm covered.
No yawa.
Yeah, with AXA No Yawa, the personal accident insurance plan. I'm covered when life happens.
Introducing the AXA No Yawa, a personal accident insurance plan that provides life insurance cover, adequate care, financial support, and helps through recovery when personal accidents happen. So when life happens, keep going with the AXA No Yawa. Call 0700 AXA Mansert to sign up today. AXA, know you can.
Cooking gas on the go. Download the Flash Gas app, available on Google Play and App Store.
Available only on the island.
Everybody wants Jarabet. But why? More odds, more bonuses, more markets. Instant cash out, lifestyle bonuses. Everything for Jarabet. Now extra, extra. Jarabet.
Everything for Jarabet in extra, extra. Jarabet is easy to play. Go to www.jarabet.ng. Begin the play now.
Jarabet, you will always come back.
When I was 5 months pregnant, I started using bio oil for stretch marks. I must say, if I'd known about it before, I would have started using it earlier. I've been really impressed with the results.
Bio oil helps improve the appearance of scars, stretch marks, and uneven skin tone. Bio oil is available in all leading pharmacies and shops. Bio oil is also available online on Jumia on the Bio Oil official store. For more information, please contact Bio Oil Nigeria on Facebook. To identify original Bio Oil products, look out for the Sproxil, scratch, and text PIN. Bio Oil skincare oil is clinically proven as safe for its intended use by adults, including pregnant women. In the unlikely use of skin irritation, please discontinue use.
Everybody they wonder, waiting because I'll be shining. Lush hair, long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls when
people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Before now, getting a good HMO that works perfectly for my staff was a lot of hassle. Many HMOs come with cumbersome registration. It gets worse when my staff come back to complain about the terrible service they get from these HMOs. I decided to give Reliance HMO a try based on glowing recommendations I received from my HR colleagues, and I was not disappointed. I was able to register all 100 staff in 5 minutes. I have access to a 24-hour responsive helpline and an account manager that helps me with any issue. My staff raved about the premium service they receive from Reliance HMO. They especially love the access to gym, spa, dental care, and the hospital roaming. I no longer worry myself about issues concerning HMO. Reliance HMO does that for me. I will recommend them any day.
Visit reliancehmo.com/corporate or call 0700-7354-2623 to get a quote for your company and start enjoying reliable healthcare today. Reliance HMO.
freshness.
Some kind people for we country now, they face waiting they call sweet palava. Like a fusa, where they wonder whether if you park in new car for the left side or right side of a compound. Get no problem, come. Now whether to start in brand new generator with key or with remote. If it's a free, we don't they open and close a new fridge every 5 minutes. My people, waiting they call Sam, Now the Glow Joy Unlimited Extravaganza. If you self want experience your own sweet palava, just dial *611# and recharge up to 500 naira every week to enter this Glow Joy Unlimited Extravaganza. Over 500,000 gifts will include plenty brand new cars, generators, TVs, fridges, and plenty other sweet prizes. Full grand remain. Start to recharge now, make you fit win. Terms and conditions they shall.
Glow. Joy Unlimited.
People know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
The reward for hard work is success. The reward for dedication is proficiency. And the reward for consistent learning is mastery. Now is the time to take your experience in forex trading to the next level. And Hot Forex is here to help you do just that. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or professional trader, come to our educational centers to gain exclusive access to premium trading education that delivers essential trading skills, helps you make the best trades, and master the markets. Registration is completely free, and you get the opportunity to be trained by seasoned experts in the forex market. So if you're in Lagos, our doors are open to you. Visit the Hot Forex Educational Center at the 3rd floor Woodala House, 90 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, or call 0816-042-9949, or visit www.hotforex.com. Hot Forex, for traders that want more.
Oh yes, and it's exclusive to Konga Yakata. Get extra 10% discount when you shop on Konga.com or Konga retail stores nationwide with your Access Bank or Verve cards. Before you buy anything this season, check prices on Konga.com. Konga, the e-commerce group you trust.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
And we're back on the Crossfire here on 99.3 Nigeria Info, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome back. World AIDS Day, and we're discussing HIV/AIDS this morning on the Crossfire. You are free to join us. I know that it's a conversation that we don't feel very relaxed to have, even amongst ourselves, even between friends. We are not really excited to have conversations about HIV/AIDS, and that's one of the biggest issues, as highlighted by my guest this morning, Steve Aborishade of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Steve, thank you again for joining us this morning. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's talk about, let's take this conversation further, Steve. And I'm particularly interested in, you know what? Let's start with education. Awareness before we now go to pre-exposure prophylaxis. I was having the conversation this morning, earlier this morning, and someone made a very valid point, and that thing actually touched me, Steve. The person said something. The person said that, do I know that if you talk to a young person of today about HIV, the person knows nothing about it? That is perhaps just our generation, and maybe the one slightly Generation Z or whatever the name they call them now. All of those, those ones may know a few things. But you see, go down to the age of maybe 7, 8, 9, thereabout, they may not know anything about it. In your assessment about awareness of on HIV/AIDS, do you think we've done well lately?
Hello? Yeah. Awareness is there. And I think we are saturated with awareness. What we don't have is knowledge. And that calls for a new way of educating us.
Did you say what we don't do enough is knowledge?
What we don't have is the knowledge.
Okay.
The awareness we are creating is not translating to knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. People are just hearing about HIV. They know how you can get it. They know that you need to use a condom, even though they don't use condom. You know. But the key issue, you know, we are not addressing it. And everybody is guilty about it.
What are those key issues?
The key issue is about the fact of the signs of HIV. We basically ignore the signs and we embrace the stigma. We embrace the unknown. Especially the media started this. And I'm not taking blame. I'm not apportioning blame.
It's fine.
But HIV was presented as death. HIV was presented as something scary. And even the people in charge of our intervention said they are fighting. Okay? So this automatically, the picture painted around HIV is unfavorable. It's unfavorable. To the extent that people say, well, we will have to die for one thing. And the basic knowledge that people should have, they don't have it.
So Steve, my question now is, why don't people have the basic knowledge? What is responsible for that? That's really my concern.
Is because HIV is tied to sex. And sex in our society is not an open topic.
That's right.
As I'm talking to you, how many parents are free to talk? They can't even mention the sex organ to their children. As I'm talking to you, I cannot advertise condom on radio.
That's right.
So these are the issues. We have to admit and accept where we are failing and embrace the ways that can get us out of where we are. Until we do that, you know, there are condoms adverts, there are condoms, you can get condoms everywhere. But how many people are using condoms consistently in ways at which they can be protected? You see young people, they're having sex, unprotected sex.
Unprotected
sex. They are taking serious risks. Serious risks. You know? So these are the kind of knowledge that we lack as a society. And these are the kind of knowledge we need to pass on. Elsewhere, sex education is just there, everywhere. What is the level of the sex education that our children have in school? We are not free to discuss sex. We are not free to discuss relationships. And I'm telling you, the age of sexual debut in Nigeria is decreasing, which means younger people, they are having sex earlier than we can imagine.
Right.
Young girls as early as 8 years old are starting to menstruate. There are a whole lot of challenges around even menstrual hygiene that we are not tackling. So we need to talk the way it is, not colored.
But isn't this more on the government side than on the people?
We push everything to government. I think that's where we get it wrong.
I'm just asking. You said yourself that, you know, we can't advertise condom. We can't talk about, there's a level at which you can even discuss sex on the radio.
But it's not just government, it's the society. What makes up the government? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
What makes up the government?
The people.
If you say anything about sex or talk about even basic education to young people, the religious body will rise up and say you are preaching immorality. But the fact of the situation is, more young people are testing positive. They have no knowledge, zero knowledge.
That's my worry.
Sexually transmitted infections are rampant. They have no idea. There's a common thing they say, especially among young people. They say they have chronic infection among young girls. And I keep asking them, what is chronic infection? There's nothing like college infection. These are sexually transmitted infections with names, and they are different symptoms.
That's right.
So what is college infection? And still, we are still there. So I mean, we have to embrace, this education more appropriately. And that's the only way we can. And these young girls, these young children are exposed. Now, this is age of telephony. Every young girl have a mobile phone, a smartphone. They have access to the kind of information we cannot think of. They are accessing pornography. So what are we talking about? So these are the challenges. Even grown-up men, they are ashamed to approach the therapist man and say, I want a condom. They come back. If you want to buy condom, they'll buy bread and put condom on there and give that guy. They don't want people around to know that they are buying condom. These are the challenges.
It looks like we all have a big task ahead of us in terms of accepting and embracing the reality that we currently live right now as a people. But let's talk about something else. Well, not something else really. I'm talking about pre-exposure prophylaxis. For our listener who may be hearing this word for the very first time, tell us about this.
All right. Pre-exposure prophylaxis. Medication, HIV medications that you take when you know that you are treated of HIV infection. And these are basically very common among sexual minorities. Okay? And sexual minorities, which we have in Nigeria.
Common amongst who, exactly? I didn't hear that part. It's common amongst who?
Sexual minorities.
Sexual minorities?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Homosexual.
Okay.
Lesbian.
Okay.
Okay. So it is more common. But the key thing here about PrEP is that it's expensive.
I was going to come to that.
It's expensive. Okay? So but it's available. When we are looking at available in our program, especially for young women who are raped or people maybe due to their profession are exposed, like people in the lab. They could mistakenly break somebody's blood, or so you can put them on PrEP, and they will be fine. But to make it available for everybody, I don't know. I'm not sure if that is feasible for now.
The cost is what baffles me, because, like I said, I was going to mention that.
Sorry, I mixed PrEP with PEP. What we say is people who are exposed to sexual violence, especially with PEP.
Yeah.
That's post-exposure prophylaxis.
I'm going to come to post-exposure in a moment. I'm going to come to post-exposure. But let's dwell more on the pre-exposure prophylaxis. What worries me about that, the treatment, is the cost of it. Even when people want to go and get treated for pre-exposure, the cost is humongous from what I gathered. What is responsible for the high cost of it?
Even the ARV that we have, commonly everywhere in the clinic, I tell you, it's free, but some people are paying for it.
Some people are paying for it, that's right.
So they are paying for it. So assuming that there are no one paying for it, they're still going to be very expensive. But those make sense in terms of public programming. You are speaking to a larger population of people who you need to place on medication for HIV.
Right.
So some people are paying. The Global Fund is paying. PEPFAR is paying. Our government is paying from some little, which is not really much, and we are hoping government can increase their funding, to HIV. But this is the fact. If these drugs are not subsidized, we won't have access to it. So now when you talk about PrEP, it's about choice. And we are saying that to prevent infection as an adult, you can use a condom.
Okay.
It's effective when used constantly and correctly all the time. Very effective.
And it's the cheapest way of preventing this.
It is the cheapest way. So instead of not talking about, pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is extremely expensive, Who
It is.
is government ready to subsidize that?
Indeed. Steve, let's leave it here. Let's leave it here for today. Thank you for the good job that you're doing. We appreciate you. We appreciate your efforts. The good job that you do out there at the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. We see you. We see you, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much, Steve Aborishade, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much.
All right. Lagos, that's our show. Let me see if I can take a few calls or take some messages on our conversation this morning before we go eventually. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I want to remain anonymous.
It's fine. It's very fine.
Yeah. I think the idea of this HIV stuff is a good topic, but the fact remains that we should look up at these aboki, the malams are cut nails.
Oh,
they
yes.
does more harms too. Is either they are banned or they impel them to carry like methylated spirits or a kind of something to
sterilizer.
burn their. I think it's another thing that needs to strongly, because it's not everybody that goes about with HIV that actually, goes with women or stuff like that.
That's right.
I think it's
That's
very
right.
important. Or typical Nigerian who wanted to call their name should have their personal one sterilized, not just giving abokis or they use their house. I think that's one of the things I want to chip in.
My friend, you have made a very valid point there. Thank you. I'll come to that in a moment. Let me see. Ice, is it Ice? You're on Third Mainland. Ice, is that it? Is that your name?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is Ice.
Welcome.
I just want to contribute.
Yes, please.
In our Africa, we live our ways. We adopt the European
borrowed culture.
whatever. Okay, and the point is that you know that in Africa we do more. We do at least. How would I put it? They call it children, women mortality or whatever.
Maternal mortality.
Oh, I just
just explain
women.
it. Oh, circumcision. Okay, women's circumcision. Okay.
In Africa.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with you, Ice. Yes, I'm with you, Ice.
Yeah. So now they don't circumcise women anymore.
They do.
These children urge come more than before. So this is why these children's cells are so much.
Ice, thank you. But I must go now. I really must go. I'm really sorry, Anonymous, you're on the line. I am really, really deeply sorry. I can't take your call. I'm really sorry, Anonymous. I'm really sorry. I must go now. But just to address what I said, it's not true that circumcision is still not going on. It's still going on. And it's not also true that, sex is the only way you can contract HIV. There are other ways that you can contract it. But thank you all for being a part of the show today. Protect yourself. Stay safe. I'm Sheriff Quadry. Good morning to you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Babe. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.